On the news at 1, Federal Government Trade Union Congress to reconvene meeting as talk over fuel subsidy removal continues. Nigeria joins global community to commemorate 2023 World Environment Day. And UTC, the popular commercial hub for remodeling. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity station. I am Frama Panyi. A meeting between a delegation of the federal government and the leadership of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, has ended with agreement to reconvene on Tuesday, 6 June 2023. The meeting at the State House, Abuja, was attended by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, former Governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, among other government representatives. After about 2.5 hours meeting behind closed doors, the participants emerged with assurance of some headway.
We are very happy to announce to Nigerians that this engagement has been very productive. The TUC that attended today's meeting presented a list of demands, and those demands we have studied and we are going to present to Mr. President for his consideration. But those demands, we can announce to Nigerians that a lot of the items on the list are not impracticable. What we need to do is to study the numbers very well, and then we have asked the TUC to also give us a leeway to consult, very exhaustively, and come back on Tuesday, reconvene on Tuesday to actually look at the numbers, the viability, practicability of all the items that have been presented to us. Now, most important, top priority on the list, which the government is also looking at very seriously, and the president has announced before, is the issue of the minimum wage, which the labor movement has demanded as a consequence of these removal of the consequential impact of the removal of subsidy. So government is looking at that, and Mr. President is most likely going to constitute a tripartite committee. That is the committee of federal government and including the states, then the organized labor on the other part, and the private sector. Now, this is a tripartite arrangement. It will be a committee that will study all the dynamics of a wage increase, the percentages, the numbers, and the categories that will be affected.
Topmost in our demand was clearly stated as well that for utmost good faith and in the interest of social dialogue, that they should revert back the pump price while discussion continues. Part of it was the demand for a minimum wage. And we stated that for us, it is quite apt that the minimum wage today is not a living wage, as we all know. The value of the minimum wage since it was that negotiated has plummeted to a very abysmal level as it is today.
State House correspondent Musbah Wahab reports that this is the second time the government has met with the labor union for the same purpose in 5 days. Nigeria Labour Congress NLC was, however, not represented at the meeting. The NLC had directed its members to commence strike on Wednesday, 7th of June 2023, if the NNPC Limited refuses to reverse the recent increment in the petrol pump price. The FCT administration says the demolition of the popular UTC neighborhood market was done based on the necessity of time to remodel the commercial business hub to be in tune with modern realities. Abdullahi Ajia has an update.
For more than 24 hours since the bulldozers of the FCT administration brought down the UTC neighborhood markets, evacuation of valuables of occupants is still ongoing.
Most people have a different version of what transpired.
The government, on its part, says the exercise was born out of the need to have a more befitting market, a decision taken after due consultations with relevant stakeholders, with due arrangement to create an alternative space to accommodate the traders.
What I want to state categorically clear here is that the enforcement you saw yesterday is something that has been long overdue. The developer for the past 2 years has been in constant engagement with every relevant concerned body in that particular place. But unfortunately, we got to understand that some of them who are meant to be beneficiary of that alternative spot even went there to destroy where they are supposed to move in temporarily before the development phase finalized there.
NTN sought to hear from the traders and their representatives, but to no avail, as the leader could not speak on camera, but maintained their position through a text earlier made at a press briefing by the Traders Association.
They even drew up a memorandum of understanding that all the parties are on the same page, and they wanted the traders to endorse it. But luckily, when they assembled them and said, come and sign, the traders said they are not signing.
The demolition, the authority says, is to clear way for the developer to commence work on the remodeled business space in earnest. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
In a bid to discourage environmental pollution created by indiscriminate plastic disposal, the Abuja Environmental Protection Board has taken campaign on plastic recycling to public places in Abuja. Mariam George Jutubo reports that the event is in commemoration of the 2023 World Environment Day.
On behalf of the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, Mr. Olushade Adeshola, OON, I declare this year's celebration open.
With this flag off by the Director, Abuja Environmental Protection Board, the roadshow and public awareness commenced as the board, in collaboration with some non-governmental organizations, took to the streets of Abuja to drive home the message. Research reveals that plastic have only been around for a little over a century, yet they have become part of almost every aspect of life. The world produces and uses more than £1 trillion of plastic material, bringing to mind the issue of plastic recycling, which ensures that this massive amount of plastic does not go to waste and the environment is not polluted with plastic.
Because the plastic takes a very long time to degrade. So when you dispose of plastic either in water or on soil, it affects the quality of the soil and even the aquatic livestock in water.
When you recycle, we're already using products that are made and then we're transforming it. So one, it saves energy, it saves time, it reduces pollution as well.
Our process is one that arrests the plastic from the point of donation so that it don't get to the waste bin. And then we upcycle, we recycle, and also we put it into variables like this.
The event is themed Solutions to Plastic Pollution, #Beat Plastic Pollution. In Abuja, Mariam George, Jitubo, NTA News.
International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression is observed every year on June 4 to enlighten the public about the suffering of children across the world who are victims of physical, mental, and emotional abuse. The day marks the commitment of the United Nations to protect the rights of innocent children and safeguard them from pain. Rosemary Morteleng Bilal finds out the impact of the celebration here in Nigeria, particularly the FCT.
Children living in Africa are the worst affected, within 170 million living in war zones, followed by the Middle East. Hundreds of thousands of children are dying every year as a result of indirect effects of conflicts, including malnutrition, inadequate healthcare, poor access to water, and poor sanitation. Nigerians called for steeper penalties and proactive measures to protect innocent children from these pains.
Sincerely speaking, I want to beg on the government. There should be punishment for this. There should be a severe punishment for this, because you imagine a woman beating a child of 7 years on that child pass out. Are they human beings? Are they living? Did they have blood in their vein? Who are they?
When you see, a woman, and particularly the children, please know that you're seeing the future, and please, you should not only, take care of them, care for them, but jealously, doing that, if you still have the human feeling in you.
Across the continent, situations that affect children include wars, communal crisis, ethnic violence, killings, rape, as well as adoptions and attack on schools like the kidnap of Chibok and Dapchi girls and other similar attacks on school children. Incidences of child abuse and maltreatment have recently assumed a high proportion.
The type of parent we have in the society. Can you imagine somebody who use iron press the back of another person's child? We see in a situation where somebody beat a child, cut all the body. It is not must. If you don't have the ability, you don't have the power, you don't have the mind, return the child back to their parents.
It is indeed a sad reality that children are the vulnerable victims of armed conflicts and their consequences. Rosemary Maltelen Bilal, NTA News.
The news is coming to you live from the stables of NTA Channel 5 Abuja, and still to come on the news. Prudential International treats guests to musical concert. This and more in just a moment. Welcome back. Environmentalists have tasked the new administration on tackling issues of plastic waste head-on, as it remains a menace to the society, while producers of single-use plastics have been advised to rethink new innovative ways of producing quality plastics for reuse. This came to the fore as Nigeria joins the global community in commemorating the 2023 World Environment Day. Serafina Okon-Umokwe completes the report.
Plastics have continued to dominate
produced every year, and half of that, which is like 200 million tons, is single-use plastic. The question you ask yourself is that, where do all this plastic end up? It is fair to say that all the plastics that have been produced since plastic was discovered are still within the environment.
It is estimated that about 60% of wastes generated are plastic, hence becoming a threat to man's existence if government and the society fail to take drastic action. At a recent conference in Paris organized by the UNESCO, about 170 countries agreed on a global treaty on plastic, which experts say negotiations, when concluded by November this year, will culminate to a total ban on plastic in the year 2024, especially single-use plastics. These informed environmentalists advocating federal government's ban on production and usage of single-use plastics, while asking for effective policies to regulate general environmental pollution.
The Basel Convention on Hazardous Waste, it was because of the cocoa incidents in Nigeria that it came to being. So Nigeria is a very strong player. My advice is really that we have regulations, we have policies. Let we intensify their implementation. Then all the key players, the industry, the business, the individuals, and all the government, everybody must come together to have a new direction, a new focus, and make sure that we actually implement the laws and regulations we've already developed.
Now, extended producer responsibility. These experts say industries must put into consideration and redesign of their production by being able to accommodate wastes generated. This concept Dr. Lawrence Anukem refers to as the circular economy, urging them to adopt the 3R concept of reduction, reuse, and recycle. This is as recycling under the extended producer responsibility has proven to be a booming business.
As members of society and as citizens of this country, as we commemorate the World Environment Day, it is worthy of note that the environment is seeking global awareness of ensuring man lives in harmony with nature, bearing in mind that the environment is man's total dependence when it comes to food, shelter, and business activities. Serafina Okon Umekwe, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Serafina. Now, parents, invited guests, and teachers were wowed by different artistic display by students of Prudential International School Warimpa at their 2023 Art and Music Fiesta. Wayne Dogo was at the top-notch school's creative event, reports that the school took the opportunity to launch its school music album and poetry book.
Prudential International School, described by many as a popular citadel of learning, demonstrated its high educational pedigree during its arts and music fiesta. The school showcased the skills of its pupils in artistry. Children in the school are said to have been groomed not only in the daily conventional school learning, but also in ways that would help them discover and explore their creative artistic talents.
Every single activity or curriculum or event that the school is engaged in turns out to be one of the best. So for us, we are very grateful for the school. The Chinese proverb says, if you want to plan for a day, sow rice. If you want to plan for a decade, plant a tree. If you want to plan forever, educate people. Well, this part of it, of educating our children, I think comes as the most important. So we're very excited, and this is a good example for many schools to copy.
It will help them to stand up on their own, to face their challenges, to speak. Even when you feel they won't be able to face the public to talk, it's really going to enhance them.
The director, Prudential International School, Dr. Essien Patrick, speaks on the idea behind the talent-driven event.
I think that children are supposed to be balanced. It's not all about science, because some parents already call us a science school because of our past science events. So we said, no, we are not just about science, we are grooming balanced children. And that is why we come up with this art fiesta, to tell our parents that apart from science, we are also very grounded in arts.
I think this art fiesta is very, very important because of some people are going into the art journeys, like they want to become artists and other amazing things. So it will actually help them to understand more about art.
Some of the students enlightened and entertained guests through art presentations, music, dance, vocational empowerment, while others spoke about the history and autobiography of famous philosophers and African writers like Chinua Achebe. Parents were also given the opportunity to demonstrate their artistic skills. Wayne Dogo, NTA News.
It was a fulfilling day as parents and well-wishers gathered to celebrate children of Madrasatul Safakatul Islamia as they completed the recitation of the Holy Quran. Aisha Bashir was there to capture the memories.
واعلموا أنكم غير معجز الله كان على ربك حتما مقضيا.
Memorization of the Holy Quran and ability to recite same off heart is very unique and the desire of every Muslim faithful. And so, at this graduation, speakers emphasize its significance.
Sincerely speaking, I am very delighted today. I'm a very happy man for the fact that these children have, let me call it, graduated to set another good foundation to start a deep and wider search into the Islamic knowledge. So it is really a commendable thing.
I feel very happy. In fact, I shed tears when my child is reading. I feel very, very, very happy.
I'm advising the parents to take care, train them to know the Holy Quran, because the Holy Quran is complete way of life.
I'm one of the graduating students and I feel very happy and very excited. I wish for myself greatness, success, goodness and happiness in life.
I thank God for the opportunity God has given all of us to witness this Walima today.
I'm very excited and happy that I finished the Quran by God's grace. And I'm happy that all the people that are here to listen to me read the Holy Quran.
They also encourage other students to look up to the graduating students as they can do better. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
G-Rank Basketball Club of Bauchi are champions of the Major General T.A. Gagariga Maiden Under-17 Barracks Basketball Classic after a 50-42 win over their rival Mogadishu Cantonment. Sports correspondent Francisca Belair reports that it was a three-day pulsating, dunking and slamming encounter.
G-Rank Basketball Club from Bauchi, who have the total of 6 points, played 3 games, had 3 wins with an unbeaten run throughout the championship. In the final quarter, G-Rank secured a 50-42 point over Mogadishu Cantonment, thereby emerging champions of the competition.
The general himself has been that father of grassroots development in sports, not just basketball.
Meanwhile, Longi Lion on white and black jersey won the 3rd place match during the Major General T.A. Gagariga Classic Basketball Tournament. Longi Lion had a narrow win over Mambila basketball team with 68-63 points over some free throws.
Yeah, we came third. So we did our best, but we came third. This is just to give opportunity to the kids in the barracks. Actually, to take them off a lot of social vices also.
The convener, Major General Taritimiye Ayebakuru Gagariga, said it's important to improve the grassroots in a bid to get to the future, appreciating the basketballers for their doggedness all through the tournament.
Indeed, the grassroots basketball has already started, especially with the Milo Under-19 and other TNT and as many other basketball grassroots development initiatives in Package B of the National Stadium. So what we just did was let us start with our own, that is the barracks.
Cash prizes of 300,000 naira was awarded to the champions G-Rank Basketball Club, 200,000 naira for the runners-up and 100,000 naira for the second runners-up. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
And that concludes the news, but before we go, here is a recap of some top stories. Federal Government and Trade Union Congress agreed to reconvene a meeting on Tuesday. Environmental experts have tasked the new administration to tackle plastic waste pollution. And that's it on the news at 1. Do join us at 7 p.m. for a fresh bulletin. Thanks for your time. Have a good afternoon.